What's going on, guys? Coach Matt at YouGoProBaseball here. I'm with Brien, Coppola, Florida USSSA, coach for 10 years. Great batting practice throw. How many balls did you throw yesterday?
1,500.
1,500, and then just got done throwing a home run derby as well. Amazing batting practice. And I asked him on the spot, I said, can you please tell me what you're doing? Because I'm terrible at BP. And I know a lot of coaches struggle with throwing good batting practice, and it's a great tool to have, a great asset to have as a coach. So what are some of your tips? Like, what are you doing? How does it work?
Well, first thing for me is I got to make sure I have a good distance. A lot of guys, you know, they'll have the L screen, they'll throw from like here, and then they got to worry about ducking over. I just line myself up at the center, and I almost come across, so I don't have to move myself out of the way. Another big thing is just muscle memory. Like, some guys are inconsistent, you know, they'll sometimes double step, or they'll just stand here flat-footed and throw. I'm right here, I pivot, and I throw every time. You just got to find something you're comfortable with, and I always throw four seams, and I always keep the speed the same too, because if you start throwing inconsistent speeds, it's going to wear and tear on your arm. So
one thing I noticed too is you were very consistent in the strike zone. Like, you didn't have a lot of movement anywhere. I guess that was with the form seam. Yesterday we counted how many strikes he threw in a row. What was it, like 200 and something?
It's 204.
204 strikes in a row throwing BP. That's pretty freaking amazing. Are you trying to do anything like with your arm back here? Like, are you shorter arm path, like when you're taking it out? Or?
Sometimes, yeah. So most of the time, I like to feel like myself is reaching back here, get extension. That way I'm taking a lot of wear and tear off my shoulder and my elbow. And it's, you know, it's nice and fluid. Another thing I like to do is, a lot of guys like to work on inside outside. Instead of trying to reach across my body or come this way with it, I'm always send up right down the middle. So I'll just take a half a step, and now I just throw it outside.
Now, what about as far as, this may be personal preference, but like amount of balls in your hand, or like when you're grabbing?
Yeah.
For me, it always felt weird. Like,
I always have 4 balls in my hand and 1 here. I can never throw like this.
Feels weird, right?
Yeah, it feels super weird. Sometimes when I throw to younger kids, I won't have a net. I always gotta have a glove in my hand. Growing up playing baseball, playing collegiate ball, I gotta have something in my hand. You know, this just feels, I feel naked like this. I gotta have something here.
So for the home run derby we just did, by the way, it was at USSSA. It was the All-American Games, the Winter Games. Amazing event. And this home run derby was really cool. We did the fastest man competition. We did the golden arm, see how far they could throw it, and then the home run derby. These guys were 8 through 15-year-olds. The 14, 15-year-olds got live BP. Are you throwing different to 14, 15, and 16-year-olds versus the pro guys?
Yeah, definitely. So when I throw to like 13s, 14s, 15s, even some younger kids, if I throw them live, you know, first of all, I'm always going to be in the same spot, because I never want to move up forward. I never want to move back. You want to give the kids the closest amount of timing they have. But when I'm throwing the 9s and 10s, you know, I'll just kind of lob it more like that. Make sure it gets over the plate, give it a little bit arc. And then once I throw to like the 14s and 15s, they don't want to hit lollipops like that. You know, they want to hit something a little bit more firm. And then once I get to the pro level and I throw to those guys, they typically like the ball a little bit harder, a little bit more speed. So I just, you know, I do the same thing, but I just throw a little bit harder, a little bit more firm. And then another thing too is the 9s and 10s and those guys, when you're flipping soft toss, you know, being on a bucket doesn't really do a lot of good, because think about timing. When you're on a bucket and you just go like this, they don't have a lot of time to reach back and get a good load. So what I like to do is I like to step forward 1, 2, here. And I tell my guys, when I step here, start your load. When I'm here, you should be fully loaded. So I think that helps a lot too.
Yeah, and another thing, I deal with the young guys a lot, 8, 9s, and 10s, is let them see it, kind of get outside of the net a little, because when you're back here, behind it, it's almost like hiding it. It's hard for them to hit.
Yeah.
So I kind of give a step out, throw, and kind of duck
in a little bit. That's exactly what I do. I'll be here, I'll step here, and then I'll just kind of come across a little bit.
So there you go, coaches. This is really for you. I know I struggle a lot with batting practice. I wanted to shoot this video so I can learn from you. I know a lot of coaches out there struggle with it. So I hope this helps. Subscribe if you like it. Give Brien a shout down in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. We'll talk to you in the next video.
Thanks, guys.